Last week, John and I talked about the equipment that we recommend that you have on hand to be prepared for anything. Well, this week, we're going to talk about medications. If you missed last week's video, then I'll put a card to it right here. It was to help you be prepared if you had some kind of a failure with your equipment. But what should you be keeping on hand to be prepared for illnesses or problems in your water? Well, that's what this video is for. And let's start it off with something that every single fish keeper should have. Actually, you should have everything on this list, but let's start with the first one, aquarium salt. Aquarium salt is one of those things that should be in every fish keeper's cabinet. But the funny thing is, not everybody understands why. Why would I put salt in a freshwater aquarium? It just doesn't make sense. Well, it's not that we're saying you should have aquarium salt to make your tank a saltwater tank. We're saying you should use it to help promote fish health and provide a safe environment for them. Think about it like this. Think of aquarium salt like Gatorade for your fish. Why Gatorade? Well, it's because Gatorade is packed with electrolytes to help with hydration and boost energy. What's one of the primary ingredients in Gatorade? Sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is salt. Now I realize some of you don't like it when we do human analogies, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let's say you go to the hospital. What is the first thing they're going to do there? They're going to hook you up to an IV and to saline. Saline is salt water. The point is hydrating your body or your fish's body and providing it with electrolytes is one of the first things to do to prep the body to begin to heal. Well, this is exactly what aquarium salt does, and in a lot of situations, if caught early enough, salt might be all you need to get your fish healthy again. You're going to hear so many fish keepers tell you if your fish has, well, you can fill in the blank kind of illness, just do a water change and add aquarium salt. This is basically like starting a person on a sailing trip. You get them hydrated, get their energy boosted, and then if you do need to medicate them, they'll be much more accepting of it. And here's the best thing about aquarium salt. You're not gonna go broke. It's super cheap. Keep a bag like this around. It's less than $5 and you'll be ready if anything happens.
When you're trying to figure out what medications to have on hand, the best thing to do is research the most common issues that fish have and be ready for those. The most common issues would be bacterial infections, funguses, and parasites. Well, the next thing we're going to tell you to keep on hand will help with two of those, bacterial infections and funguses. That would be an antibiotic, and our favorite is Maricin. Maricin is a powerful medication that'll treat a whole slew of things that could pop up in your fish, like funguses growing on the body, popeye, and mouth funguses. Think about it like this, again, using the human analogy. When you were a kid and you got a cut on your arm, your mom would always say, cover that up, you don't want to get an infection. The way you treat infections in humans and yes, fish is with antibiotics. And that's where Maricin comes in. Maricin will get in there and kill that bacteria, which will allow the wound to heal and bring your fish back to perfect health. This is definitely something you'll want to do in a hospital tank. Remember last week when Lisa told you to keep an extra 10-gallon tank around in case you might need a hospital tank? Well, here you go. The main reason you'll want to use a hospital tank is because the fish is much more likely to recover if he or she is isolated in a tank by themselves, not having to be stressed out from all the other fish. Plus, these medications aren't cheap, so treating 10 gallons of water will cost you much less than treating 55 or, God forbid, 100 gallons. Now, it needs to be said that if you stay up on your maintenance and keep your tank clean, you should rarely need antibiotics, but it's good to have because you never know what your fish is going to get into and you might need it. I absolutely love saying this. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. You might hear that again in this video. I don't know.
So John just got done talking about how important it is to have antibiotics on hand. Well, There are other illnesses that you need to have medication for that don't have anything to do with antibiotics. There's things like parasites. So what do? Well, the answer is you keep a medication around that's specifically for parasites. There's a ton of them out there, but Paracleanse is our favorite. Before I continue, let me address the elephant in the room. I know it might seem like we're doing an infomercial for Fritz. Yes, it's true that we have a relationship with Fritz, and yes, we sell it on our website, but that's not why we're talking about them here. We're talking about Fritz products because that's what we use in the Old Fish House every single day. If we were to talk about other products just to avoid looking like a commercial, we actually wouldn't be telling you the truth. I know there might be some people that dislike this video and say, we're just trying to sell stuff, but hey, I'd rather be accused of that than be called a liar. Anyway, parasites are very common in the aquarium hobby. Whether it's ick or worms, you never really know what parasites are gonna strike next, so you might as well be prepared and have this on hand, just in case. We don't have to use Paracleanse that often because honestly, there's not the opportunity for us to have to use it. We don't buy fish that often, but it's always good to have it on hand just in case. I know parasites aren't always from buying new fish. I'm just saying it's pretty common.
I know you're sitting on the edge of your seat wondering what the last medication is going to be that I'm going to bring up. We've already talked about salt, we've talked about antibiotics and parasite treatments. What's left? Well, the last medication that I'm going to tell you about isn't a medication at all. We've spent this whole video talking about things that can go wrong with your fish, like illnesses, injuries, and infections, but we haven't talked about things that can go wrong with the tank. What happens when something goes wrong and your ammonia spikes and your fish are all at the top of the tank gasping for air? Or what if you've gotten really busy and fallen behind on your maintenance and your nitrates have gone through the roof? There aren't any medications that are going to fix that. That's why I'm going to suggest the next thing that you should absolutely have is a bottle of either Seachem Prime or Fritz Complete. So many fish keepers think water conditioners are only for removing chlorine from the water and don't realize they do way more than that, like detoxify ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. This can be the difference between life or death for your fish. I know we did this last week, but work with me here because it applies this week too. Let's say it's a casual Saturday afternoon and you walk up to your tank and you realize all of your fish are at the top of the tank gasping for air and you're like, holy crap, these fish are all suffering and they're all gonna die if I don't do something right now. Do you reach for a medication or aquarium salt or something like that? No, because those things aren't gonna do anything for your situation. This is where having a bottle of Complete or Prime is a matter of life or death. These products aren't gonna fix the problem, but what they're gonna do is detoxify that ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, whatever it is that's bothering them, and they're gonna buy you some time so that you can figure out what's going on. I cannot stress this enough. Water conditioners are not going to fix the problem. I'm gonna keep repeating this. All they're gonna do is make the water safe by detoxifying the ammonia or nitrate. The problem is still there. These are just gonna buy you a little bit of time so that you can calm down, your fish are gonna survive, and you can figure things out. Water conditioners are for much more than just dechlorinating your water. I said it last week and I'm gonna say it again. If you don't have a bottle of Prime or Complete in your fish keeping cabinet, you're just doing this wrong, I'm sorry. Oh, and by the way, this has to be mentioned. Not all water conditioners detoxify ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. It's only the ones that, well, they smell like rotten eggs. I'm sorry, the smell is terrible, but they're the ones that will do everything we've been talking about. Some of the others, they're just gonna dechlorinate the water, which I know I said this kind of contradicts everything of it. Listen, when you read the bottle, if it says that it detoxifies ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, then that's what I want you to have. But if all you need to do is dechlorinate, then you can use the other. I don't know.
So there you go. Now you know what we keep on hand just in case we need it. And of course, as always, links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.